My late arrival nearly cost Brygon his life. I wasn't there when the Amalja took him prisoner. And I wasn't there when they served him to Ifrit. Yes, by some miracle he survived, but that does not excuse the fact that he should never have had to face such dangers alone. I failed him utterly. Just as I'm failing you all. He is... Dude, you need to chill. You're being too hard on yourself. What's done is done, Thancred. You can ill blame yourself for every... Brygon, it is so good to see you again. Impeccable timing, my friend. I had just finished regaling Minfilia with your heroic exploits. Thancred has told me everything. You have done well to return to us. The perils you faced were undeniably great, yet a part of me believes that I had no cause to fear. And now we can put paid to our long investigation. As we suspected, the Amalja undertook both the robbery and the abductions with the aim of summoning their primal, Ifrit. Nor is this tale limited to Ul'dah. Similar incidents have been rife in both Limsa Lominsa and Gridania of late. I dare say you've been curious as to how these crimes are linked to the primals. Permit me to explain. Having manifested in the physical realm, primals must consume aether if they are to maintain their presence here, and the stronger they become, the more aether they require. Now aether exists throughout creation. It flows through all life and permeates the very air that we breathe. Alas, this alone will not suffice to sustain the likes of Ifrit. Nay, he and his kind require a more concentrated source of aether, crystals. It is for this reason that incidents involving crystals can often be traced back to a primal. Which leaves us with the why of the abductions. To understand this, you must first understand how primals are born. When all is well with the world, primals possess with no physical form. Their essence is dispersed across the great river of aether. However, when the world is plunged into chaos, those who worship the primals cry out to their gods for deliverance from suffering. These cries serve as a beacon toward which a primal's essence is irresistibly drawn. It is this coming together, or etheric coalescence, which grants the being physical form. Once born, a primal gains strength from its followers' worship. The more numerous and fervent they are, the more powerful their god becomes. But the primals are seldom satisfied with such reverence as their adherents freely give, and in order to gain more power, they do not scruple to create followers. They do this by tempering mortals, a process to which you yourself were subjected. Yet even as Ifrit took your comrades in this thrall, you alone remain unaffected. This is thanks to the power of you possess. The Echo. We know not the why of it, but those blessed with the Echo are immune to primal influence. It is as though a greater power protects us. When first you came to us, I told you that the Echo would be instrumental in dealing with the primal threat. I trust you now begin to see why. The recent incidents all share a common trait: meticulous planning. Such elaborate designs are a new development, and one which fills me with an unshakable sense of foreboding. While I share your concerns, my presiding feeling is one of relief at your safe return. The immortal flames assured me that they will deal with the aftermath, so you need not concern yourself with that. We may rest easy for a time. I suggest you take full advantage of your respite, Brygon. You may be sure it won't last long. Once the people learn the identity of the hero who fell to Ifrit, I fear you will have nary a moment to yourself. You hear that? I'm a hero. Whether she intended to or not, Minfilia neglected to tell you something. Something I think it would be best you heard from one of us. It concerns the tempered abductees that were rescued. I'm sorry to report that all are to be put to death, the flames with who you were imprisoned included. Needless to say, this information must not be made known to the public. So wait, we're killing them? I swear to you that we would not do this if there were any other recourse. But once a man is tempered, he is tempered for life. His very existence lends strength to the primal whom he cannot choose but worship. And so we Scions continue our fight, that no more innocents need be sacrificed. I hope that you will continue to stand with us, Brygon. But I should be going. I must offer my apologies to the Flame General for the loss of his people suffered. Till next time. Gods forgive me. How many more lives? Louis Soir would never have allowed this to happen. I have to do better. I have to be stronger. Oh, please don't. Please don't pull a Chiron on us. Please. We've already have one enough. You mean to tell me that the people who were also abducted, just like me, had to be killed so that nobody would know about this? Are you shitting me? After all that, the abductees had to be killed. Until not so very long ago, you were but one of the many adventurers seeking to make their way to Eorzea. But for your character and courage, you were raised to the esteemed post of envoy. Thereafter, you traveled the realm, aiding those in need without thought of reward, confirming to Ishtolan that the Scions would benefit from your aid. And no sooner had you joined us than you personally bested the primal Ifrit. Texting. You have achieved a great deal in a short time, and won fame in so doing. Alas, fame does not come without a price, as you will soon discover. We have guests, Brygon. Or rather, you have guests. Who, me? Beg pardons? Ah, Lady Minfilia, radiant as always. I have given to understand that the Scions of the Seventh Dawn have but recently welcomed a new hero into their midst. I am here on behalf of the Maelstrom, Grand Company of Limsa Lominsa, to offer said hero a place of honor within our ranks. As you can see, Brygon, your recent exploits have garnered you the attentions of the grand companies of Eorzea. Each organization would have Ifrit's bane for its own. To this end, all three have sent officers to court you. They would not ordinarily go to such lengths to enlist a new recruit, that they have is evidence of their high regard for you. I find myself wondering how word of Brygarn's deed spread so quickly. That the immortal flames should know of his triumph is to be expected. But what of the other grand companies? Eep! I don't know. Your reputation precedes you, Master Misterol. 'Tis no ordinary man who can face a primal and emerge the victor. The Order of the Twin Adder has need of valiant men such as you. Join your strength to ours, friend, and together let us ensure that peace ever reigns over the Twelveswood. What a pleasure it is to finally meet you, Master Misterol. My comrades speak of you in the most glowing terms. A man of your talent belongs with the immortal flames. Join your strength to ours, friend, and together let us secure a prosperous future for Ulda. The Admiral was not exaggerating when she said you have the look of a hero. Full often does speak of you, friend. As do many others in Limsa, long before the rest of Eorzea took note, your name was well known to us, owing to your valorous deeds on behalf of our citizens. It is only natural that we would want you for the Maelstrom. Join the strength to ours, and together let us see the grand vessel of Linza Lominza to the shores of glory. Lady Minfilia? Very well. Though I am quite sure you need no reminding, mayhap a brief summary of the situation will help to clarify your thoughts on this matter. As you know, the Grand Companies are all-encompassing organizations, empowered to call upon the martial, economic, and technological resources of their respective city-states in times of strife. There are presently 3 such organizations in Eorzea: the Maelstrom of Limsa, the Order of the Twin Adder of Gridania, and the Immortal Flames of Ulda. Serving a grand company means serving the nation to which it belongs. You will be charged with its defense, and tasked with advancing its cause. In return for your faithful servants, you will be furnished with various rewards, some of which may well prove useful to you in your other endeavors. If you are agonizing over which of the grand companies best deserves your loyalty, be at ease. The commitment you make this day need not be permanent. Should you wish to shift your allegiance at a later date, you are entitled to do so, and yet I concede that it is no small choice you face. Ha! A thought that occurs to me. You will, of course, recall that the 3 city-states are planning to hold Remembrance services. Well, as part of the proceedings, I am given to understand that the leader of each grand company will deliver an address. Hearing these addresses ought to help you make an informed decision. What say you, my dear officers? A fine suggestion. You are as wise as you are beautiful, my lady. Very well. Let Brygarn hear our leader speak, then return here with his decision. We eagerly await your answer. I know full well that the adventurers are, by their nature, a liberty-loving breed, and not best suited to the discipline of military service, but I strongly urge you to join a grand company nonetheless. While the promise of reward is enticing in itself, it is not the only benefit. You are possessed of great power, Brygarn, and with it you are capable of doing untold good. Yet know that the great power is wont to attract attention, not all of it friendly. There will be those who wish you ill, and you must needs be on the lookout for them. Yet however vigilant you are but one man. In the midst of the grand company, however, you will be one man amongst many, a friend amongst friends. Your achievements will be shared, and so will the danger. I can think of no better arrangement. Of course, joining one organization need not mean leaving another. I hope that we can continue to rely upon your aid. The 12 know that we will have need of it in the days ahead. The grand companies seek to protect their own nations. We Scions, on the other hand, seek to preserve the future of Eorzea as a whole. Similar, yet not quite the same. Now then, I expect that you'll be afield more often in the future. As such, I would have you carry this link pearl with you at all times. It will allow us to stay in touch regardless of location. She literally just gave us an earpiece. Eorzea is changing, Brygarn, and you have the power to help shape it anew. None can say what the morrow will bring, but so long as we believe in ourselves, there is naught we cannot achieve. Now it is the time you made ready for your journey. Before you depart, be sure to speak to Tataru. She will apprise you as to where and when the Remembrance service are due to take place. Feel like I remember where this is going, too. But for right now, I think we go through Remembrance in all 3 of the countries first. Hear from their leaders, like, oh dear. I feel like I only know the leader of Limsa, which is Merwib. But I'm pretty sure we're gonna see them sometime soon. We're gonna have to hear from them. Because I think when I handed out those letters a while back, it was to... I don't know if it was to form an alliance again, but it was to come together into a future war. And this is the next step, I guess. And then we come back here to make our decision of which grand company we will want to go to. I'm sorry that all the attention you're getting, Brygarn. I must have sung your praises a little too loudly, and often to a few too many people. Next time, I'll be sure to hold my tongue. Literally if necessary. Anyway, I expect you want to know where and when the Remembrance services are taking place. If all goes to plan, Gridania's Grand Company, the Order of the Twin Adder, will hold the first of the 3 services, and Elder Seedseer Kanisena will deliver her address at Miketo's amphitheater. I should probably mention at this point that due to the organizational challenges involved in assembling all the involved parties, it's possible that the order of the services might change. Still, there's not much we can do about that. So make Gridania your first port of call. Next, you'll need to go to Ul'dah, where Flame General Robon Aldine will be addressing the masses at your royal promenade. Oh, and it's rumored there'll be a special guest. Robon. I think it's just gonna pronounce Robon. Last but not least, you'll make your way to the stateroom in Linza, where Maelstrom Chief Admiral Merwib Lofschwin will be given her address. The room is accessible via the Admiral's lift. Identify yourself to the sentry, Zenthale, and he will admit you. Well, off you go. Hope you find the Remembrance services suitably well. That's we shall. What was it in that one bumper? I'm a Let's Player. Of course I'm gonna pronounce your favorite characters' names wrong. I saw that bumper and I had to share it because Tyler, or Attacking Toucans, posted it. I was like, I'm a Let's Player. Of course I'm gonna stall the intro by talking about how much progress I made off screen before starting. For example, Final Fantasy XIV. Right, I was doing this quickly. Oh yeah, that's right. I was doing like those extra stuff off screen, like getting like colored dyes and stuff. Like you can color your own armors and your weapons. Do some like customizations. I was doing that off like out of the way. Yeah. Use dye to color gear. Oh, but yeah. So for now, like all I had to do is go to each of the countries, go to their Remembrance service, and then come back here to make my decision on what company I should join in. And them saying like I can just change anytime I want for a company, I'm pretty sure I would know what to pick first. I guess it's because of my home country. Oh yeah, I was coming here too because I had some sort of it looks like I had some sort of quest that I got from near the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. It's called Hallo Halatali. And I take it this is one of those quests where it unlocks another dungeon. This is like an optional dungeon you can do. Yeah, it's Halatali. Yeah, there's gonna be some side quests that actually like unlocks optional dungeons that you can do. That's not from the story. Yeah, actually, as you can see there on the map, I just unlocked another dungeon. Somewhere in Thanalan. But it's good to like, I don't think I'm gonna show off every single dungeon in this game. I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna show off all the main quests and job quests, like the stuff I'm doing with the Marauder. But there's probably going to be some ones that I would want to show off. I'm still thinking about that one where you fight Rathalos. Like, I feel like that's going to be so much fun to do, but I kind of feel like that was a limited time to do, unfortunately. And here is the amphitheater in Gridania, which we're now just going to sit here and watch.
I lost my son to the calamity.
The three Seedseers are all together.
Some say you couldn't take a step without stumbling over a body. Our forebears were once strangers in the Twelveswood. Fearful of the Green Wrath, they hid themselves in the dark recesses of the earth. Yet they dreamed of basking in the dappled sunlight of the forest. Through great effort, they proved their worth to the elementals, and were granted a place beneath the boughs. So it was that Gridania was born, some 5 centuries ago. Working hand in hand, the Hyur and the Elysian settlers sowed the seeds of our civilization, and soon they were joined by folk of all races. So nourished by the waters of unity, and blessed by the light of the matron, Gridania flourished into the great nation it is today.
Do you see the Gridanian standard? There, hanging behind the Elder Seedseer. The entwined serpents represent the unity between Hyur and Elysian. An elegant symbol, do you not agree?
In accordance with the will of the elementals, we have embraced a life of peace. Alas, our neighbors have not always sought the same for themselves, nor for us. Though we Gridanians have no love for war, we have still less for those who would threaten our way of life. Ever have we fought to protect the sanctity of the Twelveswood. When the Garlean Empire brought its war of conquest to Eorzea, we rallied under the noble standard of the Twin Adder that we might push back the encroaching darkness. And it was we who prepared the ground for the reformation of the Eorzean Alliance, that all the peoples of this realm might stand united against the common threat. "5 years ago, the Alliance met the armies of the Empire upon the fields of Cartano. It would prove the bloodiest battle in recent memory. Countless Gridanian lives were lost. As Supreme Commander of the Order of the Twin Adder, ever shall I bear the weight of our people's sacrifice. Alas, their loss was not the only tragedy to befall us that day, for soon came the calamity. The scars borne by our forest are a constant reminder of its violence. Our lives have been irrevocably changed, each waking hour a struggle to survive. Driven to desperation, some among us have strayed from the path of righteousness, resorting to banditry, poaching, and other unconscionable deeds. To compound our woes, the Ixal have returned in force, emboldened by our suffering. They test our defenses nigh without cease, and prey upon the vulnerable. So beleaguered from within and without, it is of little wonder that our unity now falters. Dark times are upon us.
Time was a man could walk
pox
the
on the
high
bloody
roads without
Ixal.
fear.
On this day, 5 years ago, countless Eorzeans laid down their lives that we might behold another dawn. Please join with me in honoring their memory.
And how do you propose to honor the memory of those you cannot remember, pray tell?
The destruction wrought by the calamity was indiscriminate. It dealt death to Eorzean and Garlean alike. Yet while we have labored to rebuild our homes, to rebuild our lives, the Empire has set about raising steel fortresses here in the Twelveswood. Let none be mistaken. The Garleans remain the greatest threat to our survival. If we are to stand against them, we must remember what it is to be united. Our many troubles blind us to the woes of our fellow man. Thence is harmony lost. Yet harmony is the founding principle of Gridania. We are gathered here to honor the fallen. Let them be honored not only in word and thought, but through concerted action. I bid you, join hands with me once more beneath the Twin Adder's standard. And together, let us heal the forest's wounds, that our progeny might live in harmony beneath these ancient boughs. For we must think of the children!
Woods will be done.
It's up to us to protect the
All
forest.
the elementals! If you'll permit me, Alfie no. And my sister, Alize, at your service. I saw at a glance that you were a fellow traveler. You might call us students of history, sampling the realm's remembrances in pursuit of enlightenment.
The Gridanians are unfortunate enough to have to contend with two beast tribes. The Ixal are unquestionably the more troublesome, being of an unnaturally warlike disposition, and wont to summon their bloodthirsty primal, Garuda. The Silifs, by contrast, are peaceful in nature, being mischievous rather than malevolent, and have long been on friendly terms with the Gridanians, until recently at least. Alas, they have grown aloof, a change observed at roughly the time they summoned the primal Ramu. The Gridanians have no love for war, and they consider open conflict a last resort. Though they clash with the Ixal ever more regularly, you may be assured that they do so in self-defense. As for the Silifs, they are as yet bound by a peace treaty, though one wonders how long it will be before it is broken. The Twelveswood were grievously wounded during the calamity, leaving Gridania vulnerable to attack. The people are hopeful that restoring the wood, and thereby the power of the elementals, will put an end to their woes. Yet how long would that take? Centuries, I'd wager. Meanwhile, the Ixal will continue their incursions, spurred on by Garuda and her insatiable appetite for destruction. Whether the Gridanians like it or not, sooner or later it will come to all-out war, and when it does, the Order of the Twin Adder will need all the help it can muster. How valuable might the aid of a capable adventurer prove to them then? I can definitely see they look like twins. I can definitely see that, but yeah, we are now fully introduced to two of the most titular characters in Final Fantasy XIV from both the Realm Reborn and the DLC. So if I look back here, Alfino Leveler from A Realm Reborn, if I this freaking wiki. His voice actor is Sam Riegel, and Heaven Sword Onwards is Colin Ryan. If I look at Sam's real quick, he does a lot of voice work in Final Fantasy history. He's done ones back in Final Fantasy IV, which is probably a remake of some kind, in 2008. Final Fantasy 13 and 13-2, Lightning Returns, Type 0 HD, World of Final Fantasy 15, 7 Remake, and Chocobo Grand Prix. He's also done some work in Tales of Vesperia and Tales of Xillia, as well as Donatello for the TMNT 2003 series, and Phoenix Wright in the Ace Attorney games. That's him? Oh, dude, I remember playing the Phoenix Wright and Professor Layton crossover. Maybe that was him. It could be. So now his sister, Alize Leveler, or Leveler, is voiced by Simone B. in A Realm Reborn, and Bethan Walker in Heaven Sword Onwards. It doesn't look like they have a page for those two voice actors. I'm seeing a Reddit here that says, I miss Alfie Node's old voice actor. Here, let me see about this. Let me read about this Reddit post that I just found. I'm sure for most of you, this is something you have gotten over ages ago. If you ever seen, or if you ever even cared, I don't know, maybe it's because he was such a major voice character, but I miss the voice actor pre-Heavensward. To me, he is Alphino. I miss old Thancred, definitely had shades of Balthier's swagger, which was perfect for his womanizing ways. I get that Thancred's character has gotten more serious in 3.0, but I feel like he became bland in the process. I prefer his new voice. He sounds his age. I hate Merylweb's voice, though. She doesn't have her fire anymore. Ooh. I'm afraid to hear when that happens, when I get to Heavensward. But yeah, those are the voice actors for those two. And what I just saw, they're probably, yeah, they're around like the age of 16 when this was coming around. So I don't know how much of a time skip that they do. Oh, excuse me, in these kinds of games. Maybe there isn't actually a time skip. All right, here's the destination for the Ulda Remembrance service with Rubon, Alduin, or Aldine. Aldine, yeah, that's it.
Behold, 'tis the Sultana Nanimo herself!
And Roban as well.
Hark you, souls of flame, drawn to the bosom of the desert, where the fire burns brightest and shall rage forevermore. Hurrah! Rauban! Where since antiquity, under the sage and judicious rule of the Ur dynasty, we have wrought sand into gold. Where by the grace and glory of Nalthal have our brave sons and daughters flourished and prospered. I speak of Ulda!
There, at the Flame General's back flies the Grand Company's standard. Note the sigil. The golden scales of order balance the jewel of prosperity with the flame of might.
Great and many are the gifts our nation has given the realm. In Eorzea's darkest hour, on the killing fields of Cartano, none spent more in blood and gold than we. Thus was the 7th Imperial Legion laid low.
So that's how it happened. How soon history forgets.
Yet many left our gates, never to return. Let us pray for our absent brothers and sisters, that they might know happiness in the great beyond, as Thal's honored guests. If the fates were fair, the price we paid that day would have bought us victory. Alas, they are not. And now, but 5 years into this 7th Umbral era, the spirit of sacrifice which granted us our strength is all but dead. Look around you. What do you see? A people divided, downtrodden and enthralled. Where are the merciful alms of the rich? Where is the just steel of the righteous? I ask you, is this the great nation our brothers and sisters gave their lives to save? You who call this living, dishonor the name of the immortal flames. It is but a slow death. Our enemies surround us. The savage hordes of the Amalja wait beside our roads, strangling the lifelines of trade. Meanwhile, the Garleans make mock of our borders and despoil our land of its natural wealth. We stand on a precipice, Yet we do not act. Whether trader or soldier, monetarist or royalist, all must recognize that a divided Ul'dah stands to fall. Victory and fortune walk hand in hand. Ye who seek glory and wealth, look not to what little you can snatch from your neighbor, but to the boundless wealth of the world beyond. Now is the time to unite. Now is the time to ride forth. In the name of the Sultana, I beseech you. Line not your own coffers, but those of the immortal flames. Seek not to prosper from Ul'dah, but to restore her to prosperity. As the realm prospers, so shall Ul'dah. As Ul'dah prospers, so shall her people.
Ja, for Ul'dah!
Together we are one.
Your grace.
Raoban? People of Ul'dah, I, Nanamo, 17th in the line of Ul, address you. Much has been made of the wealth of Ul'dah. Yet those who measure that wealth in coins and carats are gravely deceived. For the true wealth of Ul'dah lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her people. Beloved subjects, I bid you raise aloft the torch of Ul'dah, that her flames might serve as a beacon for all Eorzea to see.
Long live Nanamo!
Glory to the Sultana!
For victory and fortune, stride fearless into the inferno, for we are, by fire, reborn! Forsooth!
The time is now!
I
Fancy meeting you again.
The Uldans have a long history of conflict with the Amalja, the beast tribe that worships the primal Ifrit. Judging by your look of distaste, I take it you have encountered them. The Uldans do not shy from confrontation. If aught threatens their precious prosperity, they will seek to crush it. So have they dealt with Ifrit thus far, smothering his flames each time he is stoked to life. Yet he is but one of the several problems. Though they have been quiet these past 5 years, the Godlians have not gone away. Meanwhile, refugees continue to arrive in droves, and Ul'dah has no clear policy on how to deal with them. After all, not even the Sultan's coffers are bottomless, and even assuming they had the coin, resources will ever be finite. Which brings me back to the subject of Ifrit. It has been observed that the Amalja are summoning him with ever-increasing frequency. Every time they do so, the Uldans send their forces to smite the Primal, and though they invariably succeed, each victory is bought with blood. It is a war of attrition which they cannot well sustain. Small wonder, then, that the Immortal Flames are eager to recruit more members. At such a desperate hour, an adventurer of your experience would be a most welcome addition to their ranks. No, after what I've been just hearing about their experience with Ifrits and how they were treating the abductees and the scions, like after hearing the murders that we had to deal with before it goes into the public, I don't know about that. I feel like there's a lot of traitors there than there is in other places. like Limsa. I mean, maybe there was one traitor that I've been through in Limsa, but not as much as Uldan or Ulda. Have I been saying it Uldan or Ulda? I can't remember. Here we go. Now for the final Remembrance service with Merwib at the stateroom.
The Garleans are another matter altogether.
So much for our alliance.
It's sunk beyond the seabed.
Brothers and sisters of the sea, hearken unto me. Look upon this, our mighty crimson standard, and tell me your hearts do not swell with pride. "700 summers have come and gone since our forefathers first ran aground in this fertile bay. In that time, guided by the Mother of Oceans, Limsa Lominsa has grown from humble fishing village to uncontested ruler of the 5 seas and beyond.
Did you look as the Admiral bid you? It is a rather stirring standard, I must say. The Crimson Field is meant to signify the blood of fallen crewmates, while the Black Longship represents a pirate vessel.
When the Garlean Empire marched upon Eorzea, we assembled beneath the Maelstrom Standard, and our Grand Company was reborn. All answered the call, from the Knights of the Barracuda to Hilthier's bloody executioners, and together we met our would-be conquerors upon the field of Carteneau. That day, the world bore witness to the united strength of Limsa Lominsa. I swear to you, no army ever fought harder or with more courage, yet many of ours did not survive. Join me now in remembering those who fought in the name of freedom and fell. May their souls be returned to the sea.
Freedom. Yes, they have always been rather fond of their freedom. Much as the beast tribes have. Small wonder. Beneath the surface, one would struggle to tell them apart.
It has been 5 long years since the calamity struck. 5 long years of tireless rebuilding. Yet still the wounds of the calamity fester and weep. But when I stand atop the mizzenmast and gaze out upon our battered and broken vessel, I see an undying spirit. Did we not build all this from the wreck of the Galadian all those centuries ago? Shall we not do so again? Yet there are those who would see this ship of ours sink beneath the waves of the restless Rotano. The Sahagin creep ashore seeking blood for their accursed god.
Those fishback
The Sahagin
bastards.
have risen?
While the mines of Ogomero spew forth kobolds who push ever south, despoiling our lands as they go. These savage beast tribes will be the first waves to crash against our creaking hull. And behind them swells the grim tide of the Garlean Empire. Even now the curs fly their flags within our borders. Doubt not, but that they will be upon us ere long. We are well nigh surrounded. Yet there are those among us who would rather turn their swords against their crewmates than our cannons against our foes. How can we hope to repel our many enemies when mutiny breeds below deck? There is but one course left to us. One bearing that will bring us victory over the beast hordes and the Empire both, and see this ship safe to port. We must mend the rift the Calamity has reopened twixt pirate and maelstrom, and stand fast with our adventurer brothers against the coming tempest. Mark ye well, a crew without unity is no crew at all. 'Tis but a mass of drowned men. To me, then, brothers and sisters of the sea, gather beneath the undying crimson standard, and pledge me your strength, your skill, your wisdom. And with the guidance of the navigator, this great vessel of ours shall ride the waves, till sea swallows all.
Long live the Admiral!
Gather the lads!
Oh, where's me cutlass?
I'll follow ye to the seven hells, Admiral!
Fancy meeting you again.
As the Admiral mentioned in her address, Limsa Lominsa is plagued by two beast tribes. The first are the fish-like Sahagin, worshippers of the primal Leviathan. The second are the kobolds, who dwell beneath the earth and take the primal Titan for their god. As if the beast tribe's presence weren't troublesome enough, the Gallians have also chosen to erect a fortress right into the Lominsians' backyard. And that is to say naught of internal strife. As a nation of pirates, there is no end to the blood feuds between the various factions, and while they fight amongst themselves, the Gallians whet their blades and watch. If the Lominsians are to have any hope of withstanding the Empire, they must first resolve their own affairs. Differences must be set aside, and the primal threats dealt with once and for all. To this end, I expect that they will soon have decisive action against the beast tribes. Mark my words, the Maelstrom Standard will be drenched a deeper shade of crimson ere long. That a capable adventurer like you would be able to be a valuable addition to their crew is beyond excitation. But will you sail with the Admiral? I almost didn't have time to read that. Whoopsies. So now comes the decision. Who shall I pick first? Colonel. Brygon, this is Minfilia. You are well, I hope? Would I be correct in thinking that the final Remembrance service has now concluded? A moment ago, you say? What a coincidence. Jesting aside, I trust you remember our guests from the Grand Companies. Well, delighted though we are to have them here at the Waking Sands. It would not to do keep them in suspense any longer than necessary. In short, please come back. In short, come back here. Yeah, that's, that was all the Remembrance services. Now I have to make the decision of who I want to pick first. What was it? The Order of the Twin Adder, the Flame Generals, and the Maelstrom. This man shout advertising every 4 minutes. What was it? Lalafell? Oh. I guess they were calling for people to join a group, I guess. You can actually do, I think you can actually do guilds in this game, which I'm pretty sure I don't want to be in any. I just want to do this in my own free will. I want to be able to make my own decisions first. Jeez, 50 million views in 4 days after the second episode of The Amazing Digital Circus came out. It was actually really good. Welcome back, Brygarn. Were the Grand Company leader's words as illuminating as you hoped? Aye, each nation is beset with problems. I trust you see now why your services are in much demand. Would that there be more of you? But you must be tired from your journey. Why don't you rest a while and take a moment to reflect on your decision? Once your mind is made up, pray give the Grand Company officers your answer. Oh, guess it kind of lagged a bit.
The gods only know what Grand Company our adventurer friend will keep. The wheels of change are in motion regardless.
Brother, are you certain this course is best?
Whatever do you mean, dear sister?
The so-called Remembrance ceremonies were little more than standard waving rallies. As though the Calamity and Seventh Umbral Era warranted scarcely a mention.
Well, of course they were standard waving rallies. Since you are so observant, mayhap you noticed what mention was made of the Warriors of Light? None. I suppose they must have forgotten the heroes who spared Eorzea a fate worse than the Calamity? No, dear Alize, they haven't forgotten these details. They have elected to omit them. Deep are the wounds the Calamity inflicted upon Eorzea. So deep, in fact, that the realm still bleeds. Needless to say, the beast tribes and their primals do little to alleviate the pain. So, the task of salving Eorzea's wounds falls to the scions of the Seventh Dawn, with a little help from our friends, the Grand Companies. Remembrance will yield no remedy. If our world is to heal, we must put the horrors of the Calamity behind us.
Our grandfather would never entrust the fate of the realm to despots who rewrite history to their convenience. There must be another way to cure what ails this world, and I mean to find it.
You are most welcome to try. Our paths may differ, but our destination is the same. In time, I dare say we will see eye to eye.
I should hope so.
My lady!
We are to escort you.
Hope does not come into it. We share the burden of this fate, dear sister, and will prevail together or not at all. The salve will serve not only to close up our present wounds, but prevent old ones from opening anew.
I guess I wonder if they split ways at that point. I don't know. I guess we'll have to figure that out at a later point when we meet them again. But yeah, as I was saying, like, The Amazing Digital Circus Episode 2 came out. I guess on the same, yeah, it was on the same day that Colosseum started. And it was actually really good. Like, they really did a lot of budget in that episode after releasing the pilot episode like 6 months ago. I could see them doing a full series. I can't wait. But anyways, I think we're actually at the end here. after going through that cutscene, and we are now at the decision to pick which Grand Company we should pick for next time on Final Fantasy XIV. I am now finally at the end of recording this Audacity file. You would not believe how much I had to recover this recording. At least I kept the game quality. If that ever got lost, though, that would be even worse. That would be even worse because this game does not have save files. I would figure. But we're finally here. We are now all caught up. And for next episode, we will be making the decision, which I'm obviously going to be sure what that's going to be first because of where I started. So thank you guys so much for watching. And if you'd like to see more of my Final Fantasy videos, I've actually been doing this for every Friday at noon. Wait, do I make the decision here already? Join the Maelstrom. Okay, no. Okay, I don't make the decision. Not yet. But, yeah, if you'd like to see more of my Final Fantasy Let's Plays, which I am now doing Final Fantasy Fridays every Friday at noon. So make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video to see more. I may be doing more... Oh, never mind. I made the fucking decision already. Never mind. Next time, we've okay. I made it seem so proud at the original recording, but I guess I already made the decision here that I'll be joining the Maelstrom as the first Grand Company. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel and like the video. And I'll see you guys later.